is coming on. The end of summer. From luscious greens to bright reds and yellows to cold brown. A time for reflection. And fall is also the time of harvest, the culmination of the toil of the spring and summer, the gathering and the celebration of the ripened fruits and grains. And fall can also be a time for goodbyes and new beginnings, like when a child goes off to college. I first left home 52 years ago this week. My mom and I were packed in our '69 Pontiac Bonneville, ready to leave our South Dakota farm for a 16-hour drive to Michigan State University. That farm had been my home for 18 years. I didn't always like it. In fact, I was busting to see the world. But it was home, a home that did not change much. Brothers and sisters, school activities, church, 4-H, and physical labor. Every day the livestock had to be fed and watered, the cows milked. All summer long, long days in the field, cultivating, weeding, haying, stacking those 75-pound bales. Hard, tedious labor, but it was what I knew. And my dad and I, we didn't always see eye to eye. I was the reader who wanted to see more of the wider world, and he wanted me to know his world, how to grow crops and raise livestock and fix machinery. I had no interest, but when he turned his stern eyes in my direction, I did as he ordered. He never solicited my concerns or opinions. My role was to obey. Yet I yearned for his appreciation and praise. I remember corn harvest when I was 14 years old. My dad was driving the corn picker. The corn picker would go up and down the rows of corn, stripping the ears from the stalk, dumping the bright yellow grain into a trailing grain wagon, leaving the bare stalks behind. My job was to drive a tractor to the field, pick up the full grain wagons, take them back to the farm, dump them into a grain elevator that would lift them up into the corn crib, and then take the empty wagon to the field and pick up another full one. It was dangerous work. There was lots of open belts and pulleys and hydraulics, and I did it all day long, sunrise to sunset. And I heard Dad tell Mom, "John worked like a man today." I have never received higher praise. So that fall morning, 52 years ago, before I got in that Pontiac, I said goodbye to my dad. And that crusty old SOB's eyes teared over, and it tore my heart out because I realized that he loved me. And for my dad and I, my growth on that farm had ended. That field was harvested. 29 years later, another loaded car, another 13-hour drive. This time, Rebecca and I were taking our oldest child, Molly, off to college. I was proud and eager to see how this valedictorian would make her way in the world. No tears for me, but her mother, Rebecca, was heartbroken. For her heart, this was not a culmination, but a deep and painful loss of that baby, that child, who was now a woman. She tried to celebrate, but her emotions were too strong. But Rebecca saw something that my pride made me miss. When we said goodbye to Molly, Rebecca saw in Molly's eyes that same imploring look from the first day of kindergarten. Hey, you're not really going to leave me? And Molly never came home again. After her freshman year, she got a job as a camp counselor and never lived with us again except to visit. It had never entered my mind that Molly would never come home. Had I known that, perhaps I would not have been so proud of her independence. But maybe Rebecca anticipated that. She saw the bare field left behind after harvest, the stalks stripped, brown and dry. Through the long cold winter, it took Rebecca months to recover. Another 23 years later, we look at ourselves. Is it still fall or is it already winter? The trees are bare at the top. The frost is heavy on the ground. Our work is largely done. I hope my children know that I love them. Rebecca and I hope that we can sustain each other through the winter storms which will inevitably come. It is good to hope that, and it is good from time to time to sit by the fire in our comforters and harvest our memories.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh boy. Thank you, John and Rebecca.